I believe that education should be a life-changing experience. Not only can be, but must be. Do you agree? Good. Let's talk about it. I get 20 job offers every week. I don't have time to look at them. I'm not even looking for a job. Before you think I'm an asshole that comes here to show off, I would like to tell you this is one of the students that graduated from one of these disruptive education programs. I was miserable doing low-wage jobs, and now I'm having time to spend it with my daughter. That's the most important thing for Alex in Australia. And we are even considering early retirement, told me one of the other students. So the most amazing thing is that all these experiences happened in 1 year. Good? How can that happen? Well, it's amazing when you start talking to students all over the world, the trends you start to see. And what I did was to start the research and started with 50 students that have completed one of these disruptive education programs. Well, these 50 students now have a valuable skill. Now they have time to spend it with their families, and now they have a wealth, the wealth they need to build their future. And all is due to something I call disruptive education. So what is it? What is disruptive education? Well, disruptive education is about what you have lived without the bullshit. Okay? So let's go back to a traditional education program and take everything that is unnecessary out, concentrate it in a very well-designed program that takes a few months, and it's all about acquiring a skill that is in high demand in the market today. The best thing is that this is affordable. This costs a fraction of what costed your education, of the many people that we have in the room today. And I'm pretty sure that all of you are thinking, oh yeah, and how is that possible, right? What happened that changed the game? Well, let's look at that question. One of the things I like to think about these days is about what I call the binary world that we live in. And I'm pretty sure you have all lived here. Yesterday you didn't care, yesterday you didn't need it, and today you really want it. Not only that, but if you don't have it, you're miserable. Remember last time just internet didn't work? What did you do? You called, you tweeted, you Facebooked, you probably started looking for a different place to work. A few years ago, not that long ago, we spent hours without electricity in our towns. Nothing happened. But now, we need things now, really fast. And that pressure that we need as customers is the same that companies have. I would like to show you the time it took for us to acquire one of the most used technologies in this audience. Telephone took 75 years to get acquired by 100 million users. Social media and instant messaging took less than 5. And now I'm going to go to the other side. Okay? Companies need employees. I love this graph. This is about number of jobs that are right now in the UK needed for data scientists. In 2012, people didn't even know what a data scientist was. And now we need it, as you can see, quite a lot. This trend is going to be not even accelerated, but it's going to be totally disrupted with technology and machines. We were talking about that before. But the problem is that the number of jobs that are going to be created at the same speed that they are going to be disrupted, and they're going to be totally not needed in the market anymore. So what do we do with the skills we acquire? With the skills you acquired here? Well, I like to think of it this way. This was life before. It was short. It was easy. We had a couple jobs. No more. Think of probably your grandparents. So I like to think of my life as something like this now. It's going to be longer, hopefully. And I think I'm going to have to change my job much more. So what I found in my research is that disruptive education can help people in different parts of this journey. At the beginning, in the middle, and approaching to the end. Let's go through it, and I'm going to try to bring you in a trip through these stories. And I'm going to start with accessing the first job. Some people don't have the privilege to study at institutions like this one. Some people don't have time for it. I'm going to talk to you about my friend Mario. That is there, in Venezuela. Mario came to London when he was 19. He didn't have a degree. He was not even in college back then. And he needed something fast to stay. He was living in a friend's dorm. And he asked me, when I was talking to him, he asked me to show you guys the views of his room. 4 years later, he's working in the city, he's not been unemployed, and all he did was taking a 3-month disruptive education course in one of the new technologies that was in really high demand in the city. And of course, he wanted to show off a bit and show you his views now. But this is not the only point in life where we can help people. We can help people when they feel stuck. And I'm pretty sure some of you have lived this problem. You start doing something, you do it for a few years, and you find out that that's not your thing anymore. And then you have 2 options. Stay where you are, or take the chance to change. This is Joe, one of the first people I interviewed here in the UK. He was a personal trainer, and he wanted to change his career and start a career in mobile development. He had no technical background whatsoever, and all he did was to be determined and committed to follow one of these disruptive education courses. And I can tell you that what I have seen in all these 50 cases I have studied is that it is not about your background, it is about your determination, and it is about the routine that you build to learn every day. What I wanted to show you is that this is not just a gender phenomena only for guys or girls. This is a global and very unique phenomena that is happening at this point. I wanted to bring you some cases from this research, like Laura or Melina, that live in the US, and they switched from admin jobs to high-tech skilled jobs in less than 12 months, thanks to this. Alex is one of my favorite stories. He lives in Australia, and he told me that he was not able to see his daughter. He graduated from one of the most prestigious universities there. He was a sound engineer, but he was not able to find a job. And it was for a long time. So he had to start taking jobs that were less qualified than he was. What he told me is that he took one of these online courses in this case. And the funny thing is that he's still paying his debt. For me, his case showcases one of the biggest trends I have seen in this research. So we have already covered a few cases, and I'm going to go to the last two of the career change, Rafa and Ethel, both in Europe, both from totally different backgrounds, psychologists and master in physics, that have already changed their lives thanks to this. They are one of the biggest examples of what's the new trend in education, that is short programs to the point that solve a big problem, that is, I want a skill that is valuable now. But this is not the only one. This is not the only case. There is one more case I really like about. What happens when your skills are not needed anymore, or you have been in the market for a long time? Well, this is the last part I wanted to share with you. Back to work. And I love these last two stories. Mambikalai, that is going to kill me because I cannot pronounce her name properly. She was 8 years out of the job market because of a very, very good reason. She needed to raise her children. She was alone. She's from India. She was alone in the US, and she couldn't work there. But she wanted to work. And one of the things that make me more proud of this new way of education is that we are bringing the opportunity to people like her to get back into the job market. And not only back, but back fast. And she took less than 7 months to do that. She was almost crying when she told me that this has been life-changing for her. And it is not only good reasons why you have to stop working sometimes. Sometimes it is a bit tougher. Omar had to run from his country because of the war. And what he told me is that the reality he knew and he managed before was not even longer there. So he needed to start from scratch. He needed something that could help him be back on demand. He had 2 kids, and he didn't have time for that. Hopefully, and thanks to them, this has been also a life-changing experience to me, because I have met one of the most amazing people I've ever met thanks to this. And I am really sure that this is not an isolated case, and these are not brilliant people that just made it once. I'm really sure that these are thousands and thousands of cases around the world that have changed their lives in less than 1 year. And the message I want you to take with you today is that you and you and you and you, no matter where you are, no matter what your background is, no matter what you did in the past, if you want, you can today acquire a skill that is in high demand with a low cost. And I want to also address the people that do have those skills, because I'm sure you're going to need this in the future too. So my message to you is that you better start learning every day the skills that you're going to need tomorrow, because that's what's going to make you valuable no matter how many robots, people, and new skills appear in the market. Thank you very, very much.